How's it going, fans? DA here again with another boxing video. Alright, this is a post-fight. This is the conclusion to the Devon Alexander Randall Bailey fight. Alright. Beginning in the beginning rounds of the fight, I was really hoping that Randall Bailey would use a lot of his experience and a lot of his I guess I like to call it like old guy tactics. And like how Bernard uses the ring and uses a lot of his experience against younger fighters. That's how I expected Randall Bailey to fight Devon Alexander. In the beginning rounds, I saw a lot of, I guess you can say I saw like a lot of mistakes Devon Alexander was making, especially against a savvy veteran like Bailey. He telegraphed a lot of his jabs. Each time he jabbed, he'd move forward a little bit. He would keep doing that like constantly. And at some points during some of the rounds, specifically, I think it was the fourth round, I think it was. Randall Bailey was catching him as he was coming in. Like he would pattern, Devon Alexander would pattern himself around like a game plan to where he would throw the jab, jump forward, throw the jab, then he would go down low with a straight right to the body. So every time Devon Alexander would come in, he would kind of like do a little stutter step, telegraph the jab. Randall Bailey would beat him right there with a straight right. Now I figured that Devon Alexander would pick up on that. It seems, in a way, he did, because he mostly, I guess you could say, he was on his bicycle during like the latter parts of the round. He would just do enough to get by, to win the round and skate on through 12. At that same time, Randall Bailey should have used that time that he did manage to land on Devon Alexander and capitalize and thoroughly put a beating on him. So that way, when it got to the latter rounds, he could like I said, he could have just put the top on it and put him away. But when you have a young guy like Devon, who's very cautious in his fights, I guess it's hard to do anything against someone of that who fights pretty much in that fashion. I like Devon Alexander. I'll watch him every time he fights. However, I'm just growing tired of these excuses that he always gives post-fight. All the rhetoric that Kevin Cunningham, his trainer, always speaks in the media, sports media, about how good Devon is. Oh, he's ready for this guy, he's ready for that guy. I can pretty much say that the only fight that I was thoroughly entertained by and I actually liked was the one Urango fight. Other than that, I haven't been really satisfied with any of his fights, because it's the same crap at the end. He's like, oh, I could have done better. Oh, I could have used this a little more. I could have done that a little more. It's like, dude, if you look at each and one of your fights, and then if you look at how you complain or give excuses at the end of each of them, you would think that you would want to do better in your next fight. And it seems like he never does. It's the same drawn out game plan. It's the same drawn out rhetoric after every fight. There has to become a time where this dude really hits the accelerator and starts mowing through cats. And I honestly think that he's not going to be able to do that at 147. And his best bet is to go back down to 140. Yeah, Devon says, "Oh, I feel good at 147. I haven't lost any power or any speed, and this is my weight." The guys at 147, I think, are just going to be too powerful. And they're just going to put a hurting on him in the end. He's going to come if he goes up against like Victor Ortiz, I think that's a good fight. I give Devon the edge, but Victor Ortiz has relentless pressure, and I think he'll really get to Devon in the later rounds if Devon can't really reinforce, and reinforce his the barrier that he puts up, and lets Victor Ortiz know that, hey, I'm here to fight. If you want to get to me, you're gonna have to work for it. You know what I'm saying? You have Berto, you got Danny Garcia, maybe Jose Lito Lopez comes back down. He better not call out Floyd, don't call out Pacquiao. Timothy Bradley rematch sounds good to me. Shit, man, you got all kinds of potential candidates at 147 pounds. I just named the guys that I can recall that are actually noteworthy of putting on television. I don't want to see him going against any type of, Europeans who don't really have a name on this side of in the United States who really do too much. You know what I mean? Like even Amir Khan would be a good fight for him. You know, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm growing. Like I said before, I'm just growing fed up with Devon Alexander and the excuses that he makes. But having said that, you know, a win is a win. I suppose he's just not. Devon is not just going to win. He's not winning any more fans fighting like this. The crowd pretty much gave their feelings on the fight by pretty much booing at the end of every round. Every time you heard the bell, there was crazy booing. You know, I mean, then again, it is a New York crowd, so who knows what they expect. I mean, Arthur McKinney was doing a good job. He's not one of my favorite wrestlers, you know, at all. I think the dude is a schmuck, but you know, he was in there. He did what he had to do. But you know, like I said, a win is a win. I guess. I guess we'll just have to sit down and read up and look forward to some of his next bouts and see who he chooses and where he goes from here. But until then, like what I always say in my videos, like, dislike, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe, comment, do whatever feel you need to do. But until then, until my next video, I'm out of here. Peace.